Hi, you guys, Erin here. So I am making this video to give you a little bit of an explanation as to what exactly my astrology readings entail. I'll tell you that every astrologer is a little different, some astrologers might focus on making predictions. Some astrologers like to specialize in couples, compatibility readings. Some astrologers only focus on like trading stocks and when's a good time to buy and sell stocks, that sort of thing. And for me, what I have found that my passion is in is really helping people get to the core of who they are, like helping them find their highest soul purpose. Okay, what is their karmic journey here, and how it's giving them some tools and some guidance on how to overcome certain challenges that they are handed in their lifetime. And I think part of the reason that this is my passion is because, well, I'm 42 years old now, and I'll tell you what, the first 36 years of my life, I was constantly looking at what other people were doing. Oh, this person is successful. I'm going to try and do what they did so that I can be successful too. And it would just led into failure after failure after failure. And it wasn't until I found the study of astrology and studying my own natal chart that I got to see very clearly who I am and what my own highest soul purpose is here. And I do see, I see and hear a lot of people saying that they don't know what their purpose is here. We all have a purpose, and astrology is the best tool to be able to dive into that. Okay, so when somebody schedules an astrology reading with me, what happens is I have to request for their birth information, their birth date, their location, and time of birth. Okay, now if you don't know what time you were born, I can definitely still work with you. I have several clients that don't know what time they were born. And generally speaking, the more that I work with people, I can start to figure out what time they were born, because there's a lot to be said for the way people express themselves, and their facial features have a lot to do with it. I haven't mastered this yet, but there are plenty of astrologers out there who have mastered the skill of finding out what time somebody was born through muscle testing, and again, their facial features and their expressions and that sort of thing. So they send me their birth information. And what I do with that is I plug it into my astrology software, okay? And I have several different types of astrology software. I think probably my favorite for giving readings with is a software called Time Passages. Now, I can hand calculate a natal chart, but it's extremely tedious and extremely time consuming. So if somebody requests for me to hand calculate their natal chart, it's just going to be a lot more expensive, because it usually takes approximately, 4 to 7 hours to hand calculate a natal chart. So hallelujah for technology. I love my astrology software. Now, so somebody, I can see their natal chart through my astrology software. And what I usually do is I spend at least, an hour, sometimes 3 hours, sometimes the whole night, depending on what that client's request is. I, really take in this person's natal chart, studying every little aspect of it. Okay. Now, when it comes time for your reading, what I do is I send you a link, okay, for a Zoom meeting. If you're not familiar with Zoom, it's just a software where in fact, I'm using Zoom right now to record this reading so I can share my screen with you. It's software that allows for people to make video calls to communicate, and also record the whole reading and save that recording and send it to people as a link. Okay, now, this is a very personal and private thing, so I only record if my client requests for me to. I usually just ask them, do you want me to record this? Okay, and usually they say yes, because astrology readings are intense and it's a lot of information to process. So it's great to have access to that recording that I send you later. I send you after the readings, either through email or text message or whatever, usually through email. I send you a link so that only you, that link is only for you. You can go back and watch that reading whenever you want. And if you choose to, you can share that link with other people. But I usually, I don't save people's readings. I would just have too many readings on my computer. So that's for you. And once I send it, it's yours forever. Okay, now what my astrology readings entail. Oh, actually, let me digress for a minute. When I send you the link to connect with me through Zoom, you don't have to download any software. You just click on the link and it will connect you with me, and you will be provided an option to join the Zoom meeting with either only audio or audio and video. If you're not comfortable with your face being in the reading, if you don't want me to see your face, you can hit just only audio, and I won't be able to see you, but you'll be able to see me. I will be able to hear you, but you will be able to hear and see me and see my screen. Okay, so what does that look like? Let me pull up. What I've done is I've made just a random, this is not a real person, I just threw out a birth date, location, and time to make this natal chart, okay? And I called this person Anon. Again, this is not a real person. So this is what a natal chart looks like, okay? Now, the first thing I do when I open up a natal chart is I just look at the whole thing to take the whole thing in. And this is why it's called an astrology reading, because this is a language, okay? The zodiac, the zodiacal wheel on a natal chart is a language, and I am reading it. So I'm taking a step back and I'm reading the whole thing, taking it all in, okay? And when it comes time for your reading, when we connect to that Zoom call, what I do is I usually start with the sun. Most people know what their sun sign is, okay? Well, Anon here is an Aries. This is the symbol for the sun, and this is the symbol for Aries. So Anon is a sun in Aries in the 9th house, okay? Each one of these things that look like a slice of pie is a house, okay? This is the 9th house. Okay, so sun in Aries in the 9th house, and the sun is working independently. There's no celestial bodies influencing it. You know, there are, but not necessarily close to it. So the sun is working independently here. Aries is a very fiery energy. It's a cardinal fire sign. So it can be like the warrior of the zodiac, okay? And in the 9th house, this is the house of higher learning, okay? So this Aries might be somebody who was exposed to some sort of like advanced knowledge and then later goes on to maybe teach that whatever that knowledge that they were exposed to in. A lot of people with their sun in the 9th house tend to like to teach things or be a teacher of some sort. Okay, so that's usually where I start. And again, this is super brief. I would spend a lot more time on your natal chart, but I'm just trying to get you guys, you know, the information so you see what an astrology reading entails with me. Okay, so then I would go over to the rising sign, okay? This, as long as I know what time you were born, the rising sign is always right here, and this person is a Leo rising. This is the same symbol for Leo, okay? Leo is a very extroverted energy. It's like the leader of the zodiac, okay? So not only is this person a fiery Aries, but their personality, their rising sign, is a sign of Leo. So they've got great leadership qualities, okay? And not only that, but there's this blue line right here. This is called the trine. All these lines, all the lines in the middle of the circle here are called aspects, and what they are is they're connections that are being made between celestial bodies, and they all mean something different. Okay, generally speaking, these blue lines mean that there's harmony and there's flow. So this person has their sun trining their ascendant. Their inner being works well with their personality. And then I usually go over to talk about the moon. Okay, here's the moon, and this is the symbol for Aquarius. So this Anon person has their moon in Aquarius. Generally speaking, this would indicate that this person may have a tendency to kind of like detach from emotions, okay? Moon rules our moods and our emotions. Aquarius energy has a tendency to detach. It's not a super emotional energy, okay? Now, going back to just looking at the whole thing, I can also see that this person has a significant amount of water in their chart. So they, especially for an Aries, Leo rising, and moon in Aquarius, they may be a little bit of an emotional person. Now, that is just a very, very brief description of what reading a natal chart looks like, okay? Now, what I do is I go up to show people their transits. Okay, what's a transit? Here, this is a transit right here. This right here, this inner ring is Anon's natal chart. This is what we were just looking at. See, here's his sun in Aries, and there's his moon in Aquarius. Okay, so this inner ring is his natal chart. Out here, this outer ring is where the celestial bodies are in accordance to Anon's natal chart right now. Okay, so I can see that right here, there's a lot of like his 11th house is being activated. Okay, there's a lot of energy going on in there. The 11th house is the house of associates as well as hopes and wishes. Okay, so this person, I don't know, just throw this out there. Maybe they're organizing some sort of a big gathering for lots of people and their associates or something like that. And they're, you know, they've got hopes and wishes to, you know, bring into fruition. Or maybe they've got, you know, the 8th house is pretty activated here with Mars and Neptune in it. This is the house of death and rebirth. This person might be going through a major transformational process right now. Uranus is up here in the house of career. Uranus brings abrupt changes. Maybe this person's going through a career shift as well. So that's basically, again, like I would obviously spend a lot more time studying, you know, your natal chart and your transits before I connect with you, but I'm just giving you a really brief description as to what you would see if you should get an astrology reading with me. Okay, so that's the basics of that. And, you know, I can also go into future dates and again, like I can, you know, let's say somebody wants to figure out when is a good time to, you know, to quit smoking. You know, I actually just helped a lady the other day. When was the best time to quit smoking? I can go into future dates to see when things might be working with a little more flow and less challenges thrown at you. It's a better day to quit smoking than the day that, you know, everything goes wrong, you know, that sort of thing. So there's that. Now, my astrology readings, I do keep them very affordable for people. Okay, there's astrologers that charge sometimes 3 times, 5 times more than I do, but I like to keep them affordable because personally, I just want to give as many astrology readings as I can because I feel from the bottom of my heart that every single person on earth could benefit greatly from an astrology reading. Okay, so I like to keep my prices affordable. I do anything from a 15-minute reading to a 90-minute reading. A 15-minute reading is $33. A half an hour reading is $66. An hour-long reading is $99. A 90-minute reading is $111, okay? And it's well worth it. It is very well worth it. Like I said, you get the recorded version of it afterwards. You can go back and study it. Now, normally, what people do is they book a 90-minute reading for their first astrology reading. And more often than not, they're so intrigued because of how accurate this stuff is that they tend to reschedule. They want to follow up with like a 15-minute reading or a half an hour reading like a month later, or maybe even 6 months later. It just depends on the person, what they're going through and in their life, you know? So really, like the 90-minute reading and even the 60-minute reading are great for your first reading. The 15-minute reading and a half an hour reading are generally better for follow-up readings. However, there's some people that just only want to say they only want to know what their sun, moon, and rising sign are. I can do that in 15 minutes. You can schedule a 15-minute reading with me and we can go over that. But usually when that happens, people end up getting really intrigued and they want to ask questions and it ends up going far over 15 minutes. So I do encourage people to schedule at least the 60-minute reading for their first one and take it from there. Now, I do have one other option. If you're somebody who just does not want to connect with me, does not want to have a video call with me or an audio call with me, I can make you your own personalized reading through a video, just like I'm doing right now. And just like I did for Anon, I would make you your own, pull up your natal chart, show you all about it. And generally when people do this, they just want a 15-minute overall analysis of their natal chart. And so a 15-minute video recording of me personalizing a natal chart analysis for you is $33. Okay, now one more thing I'm going to throw out there. I do offer, if somebody is really going through a hard time and is like struggling extreme financial, hard times, then I can offer a sliding scale option for you. Just, I don't need to know your life story or anything like that. I'll usually be able to figure most of that out through the natal chart anyways. But if you just give me a brief explanation as to why you're requesting a sliding scale, then I can work with you. Okay. So I think that's about it. I hope that I hear from some of you. Like I said, this is my passion. I love it. And I not only that, but I want more and more people to understand astrology so we can have more conversations about it, because it's absolutely fascinating to me. So anyway, much love to all of you. Thank you for watching. And until next time, namaste.